Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
The Seahawks are continuing a strong and pretty interesting offseason. What we're seeing and hearing from minicamp today. Me and Michael Bumpus live from Virginia Mason Athletic Center, where the Seahawks are set to kick off their second day of mandatory minicamp. Yesterday, we had a chance to speak with Mike Morris. That interview coming up at 10:30. The theme of this team being a defensive team continues. We're going to get to that in just 1 second. We're going to start on offense, Bump. Let's hear a little bit about how Sam Darnold's looking, what this offense is looking like, maybe what you noticed from practice yesterday. So let's go ahead and dive in. We'll start with a cut making the rounds. Mike McDonald in cut 1 on if Sam Darnold can get fiery.
Yeah, he's got some stuff to him.
Does it?
Yeah.
Did that surprise you?
No. We went against him. We felt it. Yeah, the thing you love about Sam is he's just a dude, man. He's he's like one of the guys. There's a sense of he's one of the guys, so he's right there with him and all the things. But that's him. But there's some to him. Like he's like, don't mess with him. He's got that edge to him, that competitiveness, and the guys respect that. And he's him. He's not trying to be anybody else, and you got to respect that about him.
I appreciate the he's him being an unintentional he's him, capital H. It's just McDonald going, he's just himself.
Here's what I got. Obviously, I haven't been in a huddle with Sam Darnold. I haven't been in the classroom with Sam Darnold. I haven't been on the football field close enough to hear him speak and lead. I don't see none of that. I just see a guy who's very confident, who leads by example, and maybe he's the guy who gets fiery when they're close together. He's not a guy yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering. So that's the only point of view I have is from a distance. So for him saying, he's got some to him and he's fiery, I just got to take his word for it because I'm just not that close to him. And maybe that's a good thing because you look at the way that Geno Smith led, and I was listening to Brady Henderson this morning. He was in for Brock. And, he pointed out that, maybe this is it's refreshing because Sam Darnold does it in a different way. Where Geno, you could tell. He was out there. He was vocal. You can hear him, the body language or whatnot. So I'll take his word for it because I haven't seen that, but I'm also not up close and personal.
Someone who is up close and personal right now, Cooper Kupp. We're going to go to cut 11. Here's Cooper on what he's seen from Sam Darnold so far.
He's kind of been in this offense a little bit. So he's got a little bit of a leg up on a lot of the guys that are learning for the first time. But you see just like, there's an understanding of he knows what it takes to make this offense go. It's the details. It's all that stuff, guys. The precision, execution, and we're gonna get there. We're whatever it is, 6 practices in at this point, 7 practices in, and we're gonna get there. And there's because of the urgency of guys like Sam, who see when it's not right and can say, hey, this is how it has to be to make this thing go against this look and how we're going to be able to attack this defense. This is where I need guys to be. And I love that. I love when a quarterback's taking that urgency into things and understanding and mastery of these concepts. And so it's really fun to play with someone like that and excited for the guys to be able to come alongside him and learn and make those things come to life.
When he says Sam Darnold has an upper hand because he's kind of been in this offense, is he talking about the roots that both have with San Francisco?
Yeah, I think obviously spending time in San Fran with Kubiak and then just understanding what Kubiak wants. And it's always great when your quarterback understands the offense. Now, I've been out there where quarterback has a good idea, like knows the offense, but doesn't really know the ins and the outs of the offense. Can't really hit every position. I've been in a huddle where a guy goes, okay, whatever, here's the play line. Don't forget this and that. Wide receivers, if we go this check there, hey, running back, hey, boom, 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 and then we go out. I've also been in a huddle with the quarterbacks that just call the play. Ready? All right, now you're off and you're on your own. It doesn't necessarily mean that they don't know what's going on, but it's nice to have a quarterback who has that confidence and can give you little reminders of what needs to be done. And that's what it sounds like Sam Darnold has right now, and he should. He knows this offense. He hasn't mastered it probably. Yeah. So whatever he's doing now is only going to be enhanced later on in training camp and in the season. And I've also been around quarterbacks who know absolutely everything and just won't execute. So you still got to put it all together. You can know what you're talking about and look all good on the board and in the huddle, but now you got to go out and execute.
That's like one of those things that I always think of when someone says, oh, this guy never had a crazy career. What's he know? And it's like, do you know how many guys are really smart football people who just couldn't physically put it together, but who were like absolutely brilliant when it came to the whiteboard?
You know what we call those?
Coaches. Let's go one more bit on the offense here. This one's actually from a defender, Julian Love, defensive back, cut 14, talking about what he's noticed about Kubiak's offense.
I think, we have the personnel, we have some talented people on offense, but then it's just understanding that, okay, we're going to be tight in our run scheme, run the ball predominantly, but then just play off of it. Understand what kind of leverages on defenses are playing, and then just have build-offs off of it. I mean, we've seen just a little glimpse of kind of the first progression, the second level to it, the third level to it, and it's just so many layers to our offense. It's pretty special to see, and it's cool because right now, say they hit a play or something, we're like, man, how's it going? Like you can tell kind of, you see where it's taking shape, and so it's some high-level stuff going on over there.
I think it's always interesting to hear a defensive player talk about the offense because in my mind, you initially ask the question hoping that he's going to be like, oh, they're tricking us. It's crazy. You wouldn't believe what they're doing out there. But I like that Julian's answer was one more about fit because Mike McDonald and John Schneider clearly want this to be a complementary team. We want to be a team that runs the ball and plays great defense. And those things just make sense together in your brain. I don't know how to explain it. They just make sense.
The best teams do both. Every now and then are elite at both, running the football and playing defense. Every now and then you get an offense that is just special, throwing the rock. Obviously the latest one we can think of is Pat Mahomes in the Chiefs offense. And they're elite at that and kind of work backwards. But if you're able to play great defense and run the football, you control the ball game. You control the tempo. You control the identity. You are the leader out there. What I like about what I hear about from a lot of these players is that they're all saying the same thing. They're talking about just how they're going to run the football, how the plays are connected. So it's not a lie because when Kubiak got the job, that's the message that we were given. We're going to run the football. We're going to play good defense. We're going to do things off of the run. And so far, it's so good. It gets real, and there's a lot of time until week one. I think I saw something that said 86 days or something like that yesterday, until week one. Is that going to hold true when you're down? Is that going to hold true when you don't have success running the football? Is it going to hold true when you're not executing? Right now it's good. You're setting the foundation. Kubiak knows how to install these plays, how to connect them. The defense is recognizing it. The offense is saying some of the same things. I love what I'm hearing so far, and I love what I'm seeing. I've been out there a few times, and there's a connectivity when it comes to the run and the pass, and the defense is good too.
The Mariners are trying to avoid a sweep, and Aaron Rodgers has some news that's coming your way next with Headline Rewrites.
It's the Seahawks' only minicamp of the offseason, and Seattle sports is there.
Seahawks wide receiver Cooper Kupp, which still feels kind of weird for me to say. Does it feel weird to hear still?
Yeah, I'm getting used to it.
Live from the sidelines this morning with Bump and Stacy live from VMAC beginning at 10 a.m. Taking you up to Mariners pregame at 11:30.
Your outside backer's got to be a bit more versatile.
We are the home of the Seahawks. Seattle sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Do you have a car you want to sell, but you just don't want to go through all the hassle? I don't blame you. With all the scams and security risks out there, more and more people just aren't comfortable selling their own car. So what do you do if you do want to get the most money for your car without selling it yourself? Stacy here with the answer. It's Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Not only will they purchase your used car and pay you right up front for it, but once they resell your old car, they share half the profit with you. The question I get most from friends is, well, what's the catch? But there isn't one. Here's how it works. This program means Wayscar Ford saves money by not traveling to buy cars at auction. That means not paying purchase fees, not paying shipping fees, not paying travel expenses. Now they can just share that saved money with you, their customer, rather than outside vendors. It's a win-win. They encourage you to shop around, but if Wayscar Ford can pay you the same or more as competitors and share half their profit with you once they resell your car, why would you go anywhere else? They've already shared over $800,000 with customers. It's only at Wayscar Ford in Auburn, wayscarford.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the new Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced new Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the new Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your new skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the new skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Mariners try to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Diamondbacks today. Brian Wu will get the start. What's the real headline?
I got to be honest, I would take a 54% win rate at this point.
You know what? Apparently, that's where Dan Wilson's record is through 100 games. 54%. Yeah, this is getting scary, man. The pitching hasn't been great. The bats have been okay. I mean, we're hitting bombs. Hit 2 bombs yesterday, but they're solo shots. While Tellez gets 1, Rowdy gets 1. Not Rowdy. Randy gets 1. Julio gets 2 hits, drives in a run, but it's just not coming together. It's not looking good. And this is the part where I'm Every loss gets more concerning and more concerning. I'm just holding on to hope. I'm holding on to Cal being a hero again, to the pitching kind of figuring themselves out, the bullpen doing its thing. But I'm asking for a lot, it feels like.
Yeah, I end up thinking in my mind that what I'm asking for is change. Do something, right? It's like that little meme of someone like poking something with a stick going, come on, do something. And that's how I feel about this team right now. I don't know if it's the front office. I don't know if it's players. But the problem is when I sit back and I think, well, what do I want them to do? I don't know that I fully have an answer. I don't know that calling up Harry Ford, even though he's a great prospect, is going to solve a problem with not getting enough hits. I don't think.
Could you imagine depending on 3 rookies?
Yes.
Williamson, Cole, Harry.
And it's like, it sounds like this fun idea, but there really is a gulf between pitching in the minors and pitching in the majors. And the major league pitching that Harry would be facing is going to be a monumental shift. And so, maybe it works out. Maybe it looks great, but that's one option I see thrown out there. Make a trade. Okay, but trade who for what? You know what I mean? Like, do you become a better team by trading on Andres Munoz for someone else? Maybe offensively, but then you've got questions in your bullpen. Do you become a better team by trading away any member of your lineup? And by the way, right now you're playing like one of the worst offenses in baseball. Who's trading for Mitch Garver? Who's trading for that? Anytime I see trade Mitch Garver, for whomst?
Nobody.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Aaron Rodgers had his introductory press conference with the Steelers on Tuesday, but the biggest news item is that he confirmed he's recently gotten married. What's the real headline?
It's the first ring for either party in a while.
Wow.
I know.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
That's probably why he didn't report, didn't sign. He was, getting all of his affairs together before he enters the final 2 holes of his golf career, it feels like. So I'm happy for Aaron Rodgers. Anybody who decides to marry him must be the most patient, submissive person in the world, because it feels like he just wants to run things. These are going to be his way, and he is always right. But there is somebody for everybody, and hopefully he found his somebody. Good luck.
I said it yesterday because I meant it. We all have fatigue with certain sports topics that are brought up over and over. It doesn't matter what it is. This year and last, it was just Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, where's he going to go? What's he going to do? Is he going to be great? And I get the fatigue that comes with that. Aaron Rodgers delivered. He delivered a storyline, because let me tell you what, if I was watching any TV show and someone came back married and we had no idea that they were dating, no idea who this person was, it's an iconic move. Like, I hate to say it, you guys, I hate to give Aaron too much credit, but this diva knows how to work a headline, and he did it. And I'm genuinely, I'm hooked again. I need to know more.
Of course.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Thunder and Pacers heads back to Indianapolis tonight. What's the real headline?
Good news for the winning team tonight. Indy has more than just Applebee's. I have a couple choices.
Popping. When's the last time you've been to an Applebee's?
Probably not since I was in high school.
I went to one near Glacier Peak High School. I think that's the last one I went to. And I'm sure in Indiana, Applebee's is the spot. And they're going to be celebrating. You know why? Because they're getting it done. Halliburton's going to come through clutch. Siakam's going to do his thing. I'm feeling it. I need them to win this to keep this thing interesting.
Yeah, I watched, obviously, Game 1, and you're thinking, like, oh, maybe this series ends up being a surprise. Maybe it's way closer than we think. Maybe favoring the Thunder this much just isn't really fair. And then Game 2, obviously, a different story.
You never know. This, the Pacers have just that unorthodox style, and whenever you don't do anything like traditional, and I mean, like, they do push the ball up and down the court. They do that. But Halliburton's game is kind of weird. Siakam's game is kind of weird.
What's weird about their game, or like what's unorthodox
it's
about
like
their style?
The style. You know, like if you pull up a silhouette of Halliburton drilling the ball and crossing over and shooting, it's not going to look like anybody else. It's like when I look at SGA, I see some Allen Iverson in him. I see some Kobe in him. Like you can kind of match these guys up. With Siakam, whenever you're dang near 7 feet tall and can handle and shoot, you're going to be a matchup nightmare anyway. So it's the effort, and it's just the style of play that gets these guys. But I think that, I'm sorry, Seattle. People hate when I talk about OKC. They're probably going to win this thing, and it should belong to Oklahoma City. Don't put that on Seattle.
Can I call out one of our coworkers just publicly for 1 second?
Oh, yes. Always.
One Michael Lefko, who I think envisions himself as a long-suffering sports fan. My brother in Christ has now watched his Tampa Bay Lightning. He has watched Purdue. He is watching the Pacers right now. I'm like, look, buddy.
It's been a nice run for him.
I know Syracuse isn't winning the college football playoff, but you've had
and the Titans. They're
and the Titans are.
My question
that was
is-
tough. That's tough. That's a tough one there for Lefko. Drew a short stick on
What
that
is he,
one.
like the NATO of sports? Like all these teams are pick a side, Lefko.
We'll have to ask him.
He's lived in Indiana and in the
Yes.
state of Texas.
And that's how he became a Titans fan, because obviously.
They would hold their training camps in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay. There are two other football teams in Texas. Like this, it's not adding up.
But do you think the
math ain't
Cowboys
mathing.
speak to a young Mike Lefko?
I don't know. I know that.
I think he's got like a Titans, like there's this part of him that's going to be like.
I
"I'm going
respect
the
him
underdog."
for riding as hard
Yeah.
as he does for the Titans.
Yeah.
Sure. It just makes no sense to me. Lefko, I mean, you're a grown man now. There's no
Yeah.
switching you up now.
Yeah.
I want to go back to little Lefko and just get in his mind and see like what are you thinking?
But what
What's
this
going
has brought him are teams, a lot of teams that are really good. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here going,
What
"Hey,
teams
the
are
Mariners
good?
might make the playoffs. We'll see what happens.
on? Who you got? The Titans ain't good. Purdue, I guess, is
I was
good.
saying the Lightning. He's a huge Lightning.
Yeah, they won
they've
two
been
cups.
solid.
Lightning, Purdue, and then right now the Pacers.
All right, it's
That's-
not bad.
yeah,
Not bad.
That's right. We'll see
Okay.
bumps from LA, so he doesn't realize. For me and Curtis, that's like, you have stairs in your house? You know what I mean? Like, you grew up in Seattle and you're like, dang, the Mariners, if only.
One of my best friends in college is from the Bay Area, and we were in college together like before the San Francisco Giants and Golden State Warriors had their run. So he has seen in the last like 12 to 15 years 7 championships.
God.
It's like, dude. Before that, he hadn't seen one like his entire life.
It's like people I know from Boston, too, although slightly different, right? Depending on your age, you either experienced
Of your-
quite a lot of
your
them
our
or you
age.
had like a dry spell and then.
Our age, you had what, the Celtics,
That's what I'm saying.
Patriots, Bruins, yeah.
You know, like, but then fans of Yankees fans will still complain that they're long suffering. They're the unluckiest franchise because
They
they
have
haven't
been
won since
suffering, though.
2009.
They've been suffering though.
But the thing is, maybe you're suffering in that you aren't winning a World Series. You're regularly getting to the playoffs. You're in on big free agents. You're in on trades. And more importantly, every baseball show, every baseball podcast, every national segment on baseball is going to cover a Yankees story. You have constant access to your players. There's no world
They
where
still-
Yankees
they
fans
still wanna
no,
win.
I know, but there's no world where Yankees fans are unlucky. That world simply does not exist.
I wouldn't call them unlucky.
Yeah.
But they ain't winning. Knicks ain't done nothing.
The 2025 MLB All-Star Ballot is open. Cal, Julio, JP, and the crew need your help to secure a spot at this year's Midsummer Classic in Atlanta. You can vote up to 5 times per day, every day through June 26 at MLB.com/vote. Defensive lineman Mike Morris says this Seahawks defense might be the best group he's ever been part of. He'll tell us why next.
It's the Seahawks' only minicamp of the offseason, and Seattle sports is there.
Seahawks wide receiver Cooper Kupp, which still feels kind of weird for me to say. Does it feel weird to hear still?
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. Live from the sidelines this morning with Bump and Stacy live from VMAC beginning at 10 a.m. Taking you up to Mariners pregame at 11:30.
Your outside backers got to be a bit more versatile.
We are the home of the Seahawks. Seattle sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus for Silver Reef Casino. This weekend, any weekend, man, go up I-5 North, get off exit 260, and you will find Silver Reef Casino. It's a great way to get away and recharge. I've done it. It is worth it. They have great, comfortable rooms. They are spacious, free Wi-Fi. They got tablets, and you might get a view. Also, go downstairs and get yourself something to eat. They got the steakhouse and the cantina. You want to kick back and watch some sports, go to Portis Bay Sports Bar, and they will get that done. And the golf is amazing. Loomis Trails Golf Course, 18 holes with water almost everywhere. Bring your patience. And every Saturday this month, you can win $5,000. They also have some events coming up. Got Howie Mandel. You got Desperados. It's an Eagles tribute band. You have Neil McCoy. Get your tickets at silverreefcasino.com. Silver Reef Casino is no longer a secret. Visit silverreefcasino.com.
Summertime is Pacific Power Batteries time. Okay, maybe that's a stretch. But we do sell more batteries in the spring and summer because you folks are all out there doing stuff. Golf carting and boating and buzzing around on stuff that needs batteries. But when's a good time? How about tomorrow? We're open 7 days a week to test any battery and let you know the honest answer. Summertime and the cranking is easy. Happy trails from Pacific Power Batteries.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
June is Men's Health Month, and we want to place a special emphasis on prostate cancer awareness and treatment. Prostate cancer can be silent. It's important to get checked, even if you have no symptoms. Ask your primary care doc for a PSA screening if you're 50 or over, and 45 if there's a family history. If you or someone you know is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment at Swedish Cyberknife right here in Seattle. It only takes 5 short treatment sessions. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
At Washington Energy Services, we take the time to get to know you and your home. We have the passion and commitment to see each project through and to treat our work as more than just a job. For over 65 years, we've offered award-winning home services, from heating and cooling, plumbing and electrical, to windows and doors. Complete home improvement handled from start to comfort. For peace of mind when you need it most, count on Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com. Muckleshoot.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar to explain stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join him for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure.
Join Dr. Wagner for his free stem cell webinar Wednesday, June 18th. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Joining us right now at Seahawks minicamp. We're already here. OTAs was just yesterday, it felt like. Mike Morris, defensive lineman for the Seattle Seahawks. Mike, you made a big play at practice today. I'm sure you made many, but I happened to be privy to one of them where I looked over and you were talking some talk when you walked over to your teammates. What happened?
So, I'm 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And, I dropped them to the flat, which is what I did at Michigan, the same defense. And I dropped them to the flat, and then the quarterback looked my way, had my man on me, and then it was seam flat, so I had the seam covered, and then the flat was check down play. He threw it to the check down, hit it perfect on the right angle, and then he tried to make a move, couldn't make it.
Tried.
Made a tackle.
Tried and failed. No, guys were losing their minds. If
So
you guys
it's
could have seen
It's
it.
a big boy in space, man. That's
Yeah.
that's what you love to see. Big boy can move in space.
How comfortable do you feel moving in space? Do you feel like you're athletic for your size? You're a big guy.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm really athletic. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm fine.
Okay, so I need on Reddit how they do explain it like I'm 5 or whatever?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I need that version of this defense. And you don't need to give away secrets. We got Seahawks PR here. You're not giving away secrets.
Okay.
But if you were to talk to someone who is like a casual football fan and they're like, what makes this defense potentially so great? Like, what does Mike McDonald do well? What are you most excited about? How would you answer it in a way that you were like, let me break it down for you?
I mean, I'll break it down. So do you do makeup and stuff like that?
I sure do.
So it's okay, so you have your makeup that you use, right? And then everybody in the NFL uses a certain brand of makeup.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So what Mike does, he adds a variety of makeup to where you're like, oh, what's that makeup you're using? And it's
it's not just matte.
It's not just regular makeup.
Exactly.
That's why people looking at you like you look different from everybody.
Yeah.
And that's basically how defense
It's
is.
natural beauty, but also it's a variety of makeup.
Has a little seasoning to it.
Interesting. Okay. Is that because you obviously became familiar with him with Michigan? You were still a young player, so I feel silly asking, but when you were seeing him do that or when you were seeing that defense at Michigan, did it feel new to you and cool, or was that something that in college you see?
I feel like no. I feel like you really don't see it in college because college kids not really focused on.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably are. I mean, I don't think they're focused on it now because of NIL, but in college, you're not really focused on football.
Yeah.
And school, you kind of.
Yeah.
You
do other things. Speaking of other things, congratulations. You got married.
Thank you. Yeah.
You and Aaron Rodgers. Did you see Aaron Rodgers got married?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so he showed up at camp for the Steelers with a wedding ring on, and they were like, hey, so what's this? He was like, oh, I got married.
Yeah.
No one knows who. But however, we did see pictures from your wedding, and it looks beautiful.
That's my best friend.
How'd you guys meet?
So we met at Michigan, man. So if she'll tell you, she was she'll be so the football guys, we know some of the volleyball girls in our class and stuff like that. And we play volleyball, beach volleyball at in Michigan. So the freshman came up, I'm a sophomore. And I'm like, I need to get her
someone
before someone for what they told me when I was a freshman was you better get them before the other guys, for the seniors get them. So I was like, I'm going to get you right now. And I told her and her friends, I'm like, put me down, I'm going to wife her. Obviously wasn't real. I wasn't going to wife her. And then
but you did.
My wife,
You did indeed.
She's my best friend, man.
Yeah.
So I love that girl.
Oh, that's awesome. What do you guys do in your free time? I like asking guys just kind of I know how you spent your off season, which is getting married, but what do you guys like to do?
Well, it's just chill. So we have 2 burner doodles. So we'll take them on walks, Junior and Jamal.
Oh.
Yeah. So cute. I wish I don't have my phone on me, but I wish I could show you.
That's okay. I'll just look at your guys' Instagram and look at.
So they're my babies. Jamal is a prima donna.
Yeah.
He's a black dog. He lost all his brown though.
Yeah.
But he's
just a diva.
Just a diva. And Junior, he's just an angel.
Yeah.
Do whatever you tell him to do.
Probably not named after Griffey.
No, he's actually named after me.
Oh, okay.
So he's Michael Williams Morris Jr.
He's your son.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That's my kid.
I was thinking of getting a doodle mix, but I'm afraid of the puppy phase. I've never raised a puppy before.
It sucks.
Did you guys go through the puppy? You adopted them as puppies?
It is awful.
Tell me the nightmare story.
It's where, when I tell you, all I heard was
constant. Just constant.
And it's bro, you're going to stop? Hours straight.
Yeah.
And then they'll finally get themselves so tired to where they'll pass out. Then they'll wake up, take them out their crate, go potty, go pee. And I lived in an apartment building, so we had to take them downstairs, upstairs.
Exhausting. You're not selling me on this.
And then we'll pee right there. And then you got to take them back downstairs to go potty and come back up. So it's a lot. But I think you'll have a best friend for life.
See, that's what I know. I know that if I get through that phase, you know, and maybe if I get it in the summer, then when I go outside.
I told my wife this. She didn't listen. Be super strict for like 3 or 4 months. If you're strict 3 or 4 months, you'll have an angel. But if you're not, and you're like, oh, the puppy, they'll walk all over you.
It's kind of like a child. They're going to become the misbehaved child at the grocery store.
They'll walk all over you.
And that's exactly how it happens.
Yes.
I'm going to stick with the theme of development, and I'm going to transition back to football here. I know, exactly. I could. I'm looking at all kinds of different doodle breeds now, and I would go down a rabbit hole, but we can't afford that. I want to talk about, though, development and what feels different if you go back to year one. And obviously, completely different scenario, different coach for that matter, different D coordinator. But what feels most different today?
What feels most different, I feel like these coaches have a year under their belt. You feel a lot more confident in what they're doing. Feel a lot more just like easy going. Like our D-line coach, Justin Hines, he just feels like a lot more just in his body about it and not so much worrying about external stuff. So he's just actually coaching and just comfortable in his role and doing the things and not really just nervous that you have all these vets. So I feel like it's just a bunch of comfortable coaches just ready just to do what they do.
Does Dirty feel like he's more involved out there too? Or is it kind of the same? Add Dirty, does it feel like he's like, because I've wondered about his role as defensive coordinator where it's like, McDonald's a play caller.
I'm thinking, that's AD.
AD. I'm so sorry. This is the thing I need to get. Yeah, okay, Big London.
Yeah, Big London.
Big London? No.
Oh, Big London.
Wow, Big London. Okay, so how's Big London growing and developing?
Really good.
More vocal?
AD is just he's like one of those guys. You know how like when people with a British accent and they speak to you.
I watch so much Love Island. I know exactly.
And it just sounds just like inspiring. Something you want to go to war.
Yeah.
Like I'll fight for Britain right now.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Well, be careful.
But it's just
Don't get crazy.
Yeah. But it's just like you just want to fight for him. It's just like, oh my, like
he sounds like a passionate guy.
You inspire me. Like if I was a Viking and you just got up and let's go out, I'm just like, ah! That's how we feel in meetings.
I will say,
it's so passionate.
Standing on the sideline, you know, right? Like I didn't see a ton of OTAs, or didn't get to go see like early spring last year and kind of see what he was like. But I've been hearing from people like it just feels like the same thing. Like he's just stepping into himself. He comes off like a confident guy. All your coaches come off like confident guys, but I think that there is a different level of sureness in yourself that comes with another year. Do you feel that just as a player? Like there's a different level of sureness?
Like coming from like my rookie year, didn't play because I had surgery. I was IR.
Yeah.
Second year, like really being my rookie year, it's like, all right, I need to, you know, it's just so much going on. And then you're like, okay, I got to play. And like, you're just worried about so many different things. And it's just so, it's like a toxic like mental feeling that you just put on. It's like a monkey on your back, and it's like you don't need to feel that way, but you force yourself to feel that way. Then when you get to year two, it's like, okay, like what you were worried about, you don't even worry about that no more.
You know what's so funny is I was talking with your teammate Derek Hall, also about growth from like, hey, year one to year two, now heading into year three, and he said the same thing. And I am not a football player, but it's always interesting to hear very relatable feelings. Everyone at any job and anyone listening knows exactly what this is like, where you get to a place where you want to do well and you know that you can be good, but there's just so much in your head. There's so much going on, so many thoughts, much less for a defense that from the outside looking in seems kind of complicated, you know, like just a very smart defense. And then you just have to learn to stop caring. And I don't know, do you feel like you've gotten there? It might take time. Yeah,
absolutely. It's just like you stop trying and you just actually play.
When did it happen?
I'll probably say as soon as we started OTAs. Like as soon as we started, I was just like, man, I'm done trying to play football. I'm just gonna come on and play. Like usually, like the day before anything, I can't sleep. Like I'm excited, I'm ready, I'm anxious. But like I got great sleep before the first day of practice, and then like it was a really good day.
Yeah.
And I just let that go, keep going.
Derek said he thinks this can be like a top 5 defense.
Man, it's honestly super scary, especially on the defensive line side. I feel like we're just stacked from head to toe. You know, picking up D-Law. You know, we got Leo, re-signed Jay Reed, and Big Hank. You know, Byron's coming back from his rookie year, which is insane. So it's looking really nasty.
How would you describe what you guys would want it to look like? Would it be nasty? What's another word where you're like, this is who we want to be? It's a tough question, but I know that word's in there.
Keep it plain and simple. I'll just be violent.
That's a perfect word.
Yeah, just keep it simple.
I mean, I think that's what we were talking with Marcus Trufant the other day. And we were like, hey, when you guys were part of a really, really great defense. Like, when did you kind of know, oh, we're legit? Like, this is it. We've reached a peak. And he was like, when you go out there and all of a sudden everything's funny. You're playing a game. You're in an NFL game, but you're having the time of your life. Yeah. And it's really fun because you know what the offense is going to do. You know that you can beat it. You just have that confidence in yourself. Do you feel that confidence growing?
Yes, absolutely. I haven't felt this way about a team since, I'll probably say, 2021 at Michigan. Why?
Why this team?
I just feel like the bond that we created in OTAs, a lot of guys are here. We're doing more stuff off the field. All of our wives do stuff together. So it's super cool to not only have it from a football aspect, but to go home and just be like Brooks just coming to me and talking about what they did with all the wives.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's really
cool.
A
nice group.
So it's like you get the family aspect not only in the building, but outside of it as well.
Tell me how D-Law's kind of, obviously he just got here, not just, but this offseason, how's he kind of acclimating to this group?
I'll probably say he's definitely a coach.
Yeah.
Like a player's coach for sure. Because what he does is just breaks down little things and also just brings you along with him. He wants you to be in the same headspace as him, wants to breathe life, all of his knowledge and information into you. So I feel like that's been really, really good for us as just young guys. I've been around old heads since I got into the league with Jay Reed, getting Draymond also.
Oh, God, you calling them old heads is just killing me.
Yeah. Hey, bro.
No, but it's acceptable.
Year 10,
yeah.
year 11.
No, they are old. I fear I fear indeed they are old heads.
Unk. They are unk.
I regret to inform myself.
I had to turn around. I thought Jay Reed's going to hear me.
No, his hearing isn't that good. We already established this.
Jay Reed is unk for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's just dominant out there.
All those guys, man. It's just once you're around those old guys and they just give you little nuggets, it's just you just write it down in your notes and you just keep a mental note of it. And then when you get out there, you see it and it's okay, I see what y'all are saying, and then go make a play.
If there was another teammate, and it can be, in the front seven, you can also look at the defensive backs. Is there another teammate where you're like, yeah, I genuinely, he's having a good offseason, I'm excited for this guy?
There's a lot of guys.
You can name them.
I just want to give you one because I don't want to just list off.
You want to make it matter.
I want to make it matter. I'm gonna say Ty Okada.
Wow. Okay. Why Ty?
Has been we just talked about it in the defensive meeting room. It's just he's just been letting it loose, just having fun. That same thing where it's just you just get the monkey off your back and you just start playing free. And he's probably leads the team in picks and all the OTAs.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's just been balling. On special teams also has been balling.
Now we know to keep our eye on it. Okay, what if you have to look at the other side? Again, defensive guys, you hate to give the offense too much credit. Yeah, I know. You have to look at an offensive teammate and just go, I hate to admit it, but he's had a solid offseason so far, and I'm excited for this kid. Not kid to you.
I'll probably just say Jalen Sundell. He dominated all of our lifts and stuff like that. It's hard. It's hard for us just to be oh, this guy's doing good. This guy's doing good.
Right.
From a defensive standpoint.
All right. He is Mike Morris. Again, congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you so
Congratulations on the doodles. They sound like they're being raised in a happy household.
So pampered.
I hope you and Brooke have the wonderful rest of the summer.
Thank you.
We'll see you in training camp. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, Bump's got 3 things grinding his gears. It's a Wednesday. It's 10:45. It's time for Get Off My Lawn. Bump, what's driving you crazy?
I'm a man.
This week?
I'm 40.
Let's get it. Now, typically I throw in 1 sports and 2 whatevers. I got 3 whatevers today.
That's even better.
So no sports involved.
Fantastic.
All right, here's one. So you guys know I drive from good old Monroe to South Lake Union every single day. So traffic is not my friend. All right. I wake up in the morning and I work out at a gym just to cut traffic in half, and then I head out. But on the way back, if I leave at 2:10, my trip's going to be an hour. And, everyone pretty much follows the rules of the road, for the most part. People are getting more courteous, right? The merging has gotten better.
Learning. We're growing.
I appreciate you guys for that, throwing their hand up. But there are a group of people who have an advantage in this whole thing, and they take advantage of the situation. And yesterday I had enough, okay? This is all my motorcycle people out there.
Oh, no.
All right, you motorcycle people out there, you can hop in the HOV lane.
Dang.
All right, Bob Stelton. All right.
I was going to say, Bob's right there.
You can hop in the HOV lane with no problem, just coasting by, and I'm driving in my truck solo, watching the HOV lane go. we can be stopped in traffic, and then you cut in between the cars, and you're going.
Illegal.
But yesterday, if you drive on 522 going to Monroe, there's one stoplight there, all right? And the closer you get to Maltby, the slower the traffic gets. And I'm inching my way up, and now I'm at the front of the line at the light. And this motorcycle guy goes in between. It doesn't stop in between. Then he pulls in front of me, and now he's in front, over the line, that he takes off. I go, listen, sir, listen. I've waited a long time to get to this point. And you, on your little rocket, you're going to cut in between the cars, get in front of me, and then take off and do the same thing. I've come to terms with them going in between the cars when we're driving HOV. Now it stops when I'm waiting at the light, and you don't only slide beside. You get in front of the line, and then you take off. It's disrespectful, and it's childish, okay? I worked too hard to get to the front of that line. I've taken my time. And life is too easy for you.
I paid my taxes.
Paid my dues. And you're at the front of the line, cutting me off. Get off my day-long motorcycle riders. Do what you do, okay? But when we're stopped at the stoplight, don't you dare. Don't you dare get in front of me. Stay to the left or the right of me, sir.
Oh,
or
man.
ma'am.
That's bicycle behavior.
Yeah.
You
crazy.
can't, like, if a bicyclist goes through the cars and gets to the front, they have that little bike box up there. So it's, it's like, okay, so, a motorcyclist. Sir, you're a car with an attitude.
Come on, man.
What's next?
I'm a man.
Next up.
I'm 40.
So yesterday, I'm really getting old. Because yesterday, the Root Sports app was whooping my you-know-what. It was whooping my butt. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, how come my app ain't working? It cut off, and then Rowdy hits a home run. Then by the time I get it back on, it's like 8-2. I'm like, what did I miss? I had to go back and watch this whole thing. So this is this is how you know it's whooping my butt, because they had an option to have customer service call you. I said, yep, call me.
No.
I pushed the button. I had customer service call me. I go, what is the issue with my app? I paid the bill, yada, yada. So I'm talking to this guy, and we're going through it, and we get disconnected.
No.
And I go, of course he's going to call me back, right?
No.
You think he called me back?
No.
No, he didn't call me back. All right, now listen.
Now you got to find that button again.
If we get disconnected, customer service, you better call me back, okay? This is malarkey, all right? What are we doing here? I'm struggling with my app, all right? End of the day, I figured it out, okay? But I'm just saying, though, man, like that ain't good customer service, dog. All right, you're here to serve the customer. What you did was maybe even more frustrated. I missed Rowdy's home run. I turn it back on. We're down 8-2. I got to rewind it all the way back and figure out what's going on. It's crazy. It's malarkey.
We're going to have a segment called That's Baloney.
That's baloney.
That's baloney.
Come on,
Bump.
man.
Oh,
Bull.
no. I'm sorry that app got you.
It got me.
That got you.
It ended up being just my connection. My Wi-Fi was crazy because my kids were on it. My TV. We had so many devices connected
That's
to it.
a lot of tech for
It
you.
just,
That's a lot of tech in one
and I
day.
got frustrated.
Yeah.
And you say, you know what? It's
You
out
had
of
a
my
tough
hands now.
day.
It's
You
out
had
of
a
my
tough
hands
day.
now. I'm gonna leave it to the great customer service of Root and get it done. And it probably, here's the thing, it's probably not even Root. They probably outsourced it to someone else, and then they handle it, and they don't really know what's going on. So you know what? It still was frustrating, but I sat there, figured it out, and I got to see the beautiful game that we saw yesterday.
At any point, did you squint and hold your phone out away from you?
No, I didn't.
Did you put readers on?
No, I was on my iPad, so it was screen was big enough, and we were good.
Well, because the facts are, when you're dealing with a big issue, you can't do it on your phone.
No.
You got to do it on an iPad.
Yeah. Phone, you'll get super frustrated.
Okay, what's last?
All right, last one.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
More etiquette. We talked about Costco the other day, and then it reminded me of an incident that happened while I was at the store. It wasn't at Costco, but I was at the store, right? And, there's sometimes, the hot spots. Curtis, I think you shop for your family sometimes.
Yeah.
Stacy, I'm sure you do. Me, I hardly do it. That's not my role in this situation, right? But when I do, there's some things I make my way through the grocery store, boom. And sometimes I go, and it is just extremely crowded. And, you get like 3 lanes opened up, and things are backed up, and you hear the person on the intercom, hey, can we open up another lane? I go, perfect, good job, open up another lane, okay? So I'm like the next person up. They open up another lane to the left of me. I have the first dibs on that next lane.
That's right away.
Because I'm up first.
That's right.
This person comes all the way from the back and rushes up there and looks me dead in my eyeballs and just gets up there. I'm like, are you serious, sir?
That's baloney.
Are you serious? I'm next up. I got first dibs on that line. All right, don't you ever pass somebody else.
And they looked at you?
And looked at me like nothing was wrong. Even gave me a little smile like, hey. Like, no, it's no hey here. It's no hey.
They gave a little smile.
All right, you're lucky I got things to lose, okay? I've calmed down in the last 20 years, all right? I'm not going to, you know what? I'm going to be hot. I'm going to stand behind you. You're going to feel my negative energy, but I ain't going to make a big scene, man. I got to get home to the fam and make sure everything is good. But you do not, if you are behind the person who is next up, they open up another lane, they have that right because they waited.
You have the right of way
to get there. Yeah, it's
you have
crazy.
the right of way to that lane.
It was crazy, man.
And those are the rules too. If they open it up, the little attendant or whatever for that lane is going to turn to you. That's immediately what they're going to do. And they're going to be like, I can help next in line. That's the line. I can help next in line.
Next in line.
Next in line over here. They were not next in line.
Come on, man.
Was it like an older woman where you had to be like?
No, it was a guy. It was a guy. He's probably a little older than me. A little older than me, but come on, man.
Tough.
We're all in this fight together. If we just work together.
I don't know that we're all in this
We can
together.
just work together.
No, that person said you're on your own.
Yeah, he's on a solo mission.
That's what's wrong with society today. We got to look out for each other.
Maybe he doesn't do the shopping either, and it was and he's just a dad at the store.
Does he
and
not
he's
know?
going, I don't know the rules.
Yeah,
This
does
is
he
the
not know
Wild West.
etiquette about?
Yeah, he doesn't
about
know
that?
grocery store etiquette.
Does that feels right to you? Oh, I'm 4 or 5 people behind. Next up, I'll take that lane. He's been waiting here for 10 minutes.
It doesn't feel
Come
right.
on, man.
But maybe he has a gray moral compass.
I guess.
Maybe he's already. Maybe he doesn't socialize a ton. You know what I mean?
hope that's
or
it.
maybe he doesn't have a sense of right and wrong.
Well, there is something.
Right to you?
There are older people that try to get away with more because they are old and no one's going to call them out for it. I feel like this might be that kind of instance bump where it's like somebody who is older than you is like, well, you know, I've lived more life than you. I can scoot up to the front of the line.
You know what? You allowed me to give you that. You know, and honestly, if I'm looking and there is a mom with kids or something or an elderly person, I'll be like, and I only have a few items. Yeah, go ahead, you got it.
I'll tell you what I think this person did. I think that they made a judgment call that you were very close to being actually checking out in your own line, and they thought, well, I'm behind this person, so I'm going to go next in line.
Nah, you made the wrong judgment, brother.
Yeah. Someone said, if it's a good employee, you specifically take the next person in line. That's how I was taught at Safeway. Not Safeway coming in going, couldn't be us.
Couldn't be it. Nah.
It couldn't be us.
It was at Freddy's, so, you know, Freddy's
call
is
'em
closed.
out.
Let's do better.
Call them out. All right. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Mariners and Diamondbacks immediately follow us. Pregame starts at 11:30 a.m. First pitch at 12:40 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Talking Mariners with Yahoo Sports. Jordan Shusterman next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Chance to catch up with Bryce Miller. Appreciated your candor. You were coming out going, man, I haven't felt good. I don't feel good. Was it starting to become a mental thing where you're trying to compensate?
It's a tough game. It's a tough league, you know, whenever you feel good. And you're not always going to feel 100% throughout a season, but it was just, you know, I think I had 8 starts, and all 8, there wasn't a single start where I felt 90%.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news. This August, luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
New Harley-Davidson starting at $99 a month at Jet City Harley. 600 new Harleys in stock. Only $99 a month for a brand new Harley-Davidson at Jet City Harley. Visit JetCityHarley.com.
Payments based on Nightster models and base color with 30% down, 84-month term, 6.99% APR with approved credit. Doesn't include freight, setup, tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are looking to avoid a sweep by the Diamondbacks in the series finale today. Brian Wu on the mound. First pitch at 12:40 p.m. Pregame show immediately following us at 11:30. Game 3 of the NBA Finals heads to Indy tonight. It's Thunder Pacers at 5:30 p.m. Wyman and Bob will join In Progress at 6 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Talking Mariners with Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
Hey, guys. Always a pleasure. What's going on?
Well, we do want to dive into the Mariners. Before we do, yesterday we had on Jake Mintz, who is also with Yahoo Sports, your co-host for Baseball Barbie Cast. And Matt, we're going to go to cut 16. Jake had just a quick message for you.
And if you could just let Jordan know, next time I come on your guys' show, he shouldn't call me in the middle of it, which he just did.
Shame on you, Jordan.
Jordan
Have some
Shusterman
decorum.
FaceTime call 15 minutes ago. There you go.
Wow, Jordan. I mean, it's called an interview.
Yeah, that's funny. I will say, believe it or not, we don't have shared calendars. We probably should at this point. And I guess I just did. I didn't know. I talked to him after he told me he was on with you guys, but I didn't realize I'd called him during. He is much more liable to call me unprompted than I am the other way. So that's pretty funny timing.
Jordan, what are we looking at with this Mariners team, right? I'm just trying to make sense of all this. I look at the negatives and the positives. Julio's been playing okay. Cal's had his moments. Even some of the young guys have shown up. The pitching is all jacked up. Just what am I looking at with this team?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you're looking at a 500 ball club right now, which is certainly not where I think they wanted to be at this stage. Certainly after kind of the start they had gotten off to. I think right now, really, what you're looking at is, I think some of the concerns, especially on offense, where some of those absences that we haven't really thought about that much recently, I think are starting to be felt in a more real way. Luke Raley in particular. I think that's a name that we really have not said very much this year since he's been out. But when you think about how important he was for the offense last year, and I bring him up because, Dom Canzone, I hope he comes up and hits a bunch of homers. I know he had that big moment the other night and has had some flashes here and there, but that corner outfield spot, not just Raley, but of course Victor Robles too, it's been a problem. And so it's not the only reason why the Mariners are 500, but Luke Raley was one of their best players last year, and him being out, I think, is now sort of being felt more as you're putting more pressure on, previously Tavares and now Canzone, and then the young guys at the bottom of the lineup like Cole Young and Ben Williamson.
Kind of wanted to take a big picture approach with this next question. So we're looking league-wide and back through history for this one. I don't know if fans know, but the Dodgers, who are constantly cited as you can't spend like the Dodgers, do not and have not won the World Series every year. I know that's a tricky one, but that's not in fact true. So how do teams that aren't the Dodgers, or let's say that don't have a top 5 payroll, how do those teams win? Because that's inevitably, Jordan, no surprise to you, the conversation we have here in Seattle every single year.
Yeah, it's a fair question. I think it's a good reminder of, I've been thinking about this a lot recently, thinking about Seattle and thinking about kind of honestly leading up to the draft, which I'm kind of knee deep in right now, kind of get prepared for next month's draft, is you just think about how good you have to be at so many different things to succeed in the major leagues. And I bring it up in relation to Seattle because drafting and developing has been a strength. In a very incredible way, the degree to which, remember, there were long stretches where this was just one of the worst farm systems in baseball, right? And now it just continues to churn out prospect after prospect. Now, again, not all of those have necessarily become good major league players quite yet, but that's one thing that they're doing really well. But as I mentioned, you got to do so much well. And when you go back to teams like the Dodgers, that's a team that can spend a ton of money, can endure an unbelievable number of injuries on the mound because, well, one, we still know that the top-end talent, especially on offense, is healthy and is playing well, and that does, in a lot of cases, require a lot of money. But also, hey, look at some of the other guys that have been huge for them this season. Andy Pages, what a find he has turned out to be. Some of the pitchers, I know Ben Kasperius pitching for them today. Amid all the injuries that they've had on the mound, that's a homegrown guy that has been an impact pitcher for them in a variety of roles. And you just have to be doing so many things right. And even the best teams in the league are going to have some pretty clear weak spots. You see it in teams like Philadelphia, who are excel on the mound, have some star levels, in the lineup, and then their defense just kind of stinks, and their farm system and data drafting has been kind of bad. So for the most part, you could find a glaring weakness even with the best teams in baseball, because this sport is just so hard to be consistently good. But the Dodgers are an example where they're doing so much more right than just spending money.
when the season started, we're always trying to figure out, okay, what's the date we can kind of understand who this team is? And a lot of people said like Memorial Day weekend, right? Like, all right, during that weekend, you know who this team is and who they aren't. At the same time, from then until now, it feels like this team has regressed a bit. I don't know who this team is at this point. What are we waiting for? Are we waiting for the rotation to be completely healthy before we can form a strong opinion about it? Are we waiting to see how younger players develop? Like, what's the next phase, I guess, into figuring out exactly who this team is?
Yeah, so obviously with the latest news about Bryce, which unfortunately is not a surprise. I mean, he had been extremely honest and open about where he was at, to the degree that I kind of found concerning and troubling. That, I mean, I appreciate his transparency and honesty, but the things that he was saying over the last few weeks didn't exactly make me feel like he was about to turn a corner and start looking like last year's Bryce Miller. So to see him back on the injured list is disappointing, but I bring that up to say expecting them to be fully healthy and what it looked like last year at this point is unrealistic. I'm glad you do mention the young players, because I think, especially in the case of Cole Young, and maybe if we do see more call-ups in the case of a Harry Ford or someone like that, we Williamson's a little bit different because he's got a pretty substantial amount of playing time at this point, but I still don't think we really know how much of a contributor Cole Young is going to be this season. They're giving him every chance to get comfortable. The numbers aren't necessarily pretty just yet, but that's a player that could be a good major leaguer by the end of the year. We just don't know, where that's going to be yet. Logan Evans, by the way, same thing. How many turns through the rotation before you really know what you have there? So I think that's part of it. But the other reality is, how different is this roster going to be? Are they going to make some big swing at the trade line next month? Are they going to be in position to do so? I hope so. I think they're going to be. I think that the American League, even if they do continue to hover around 500, they're going to be in it, because the AL West isn't very good and the AL in general isn't very good. So I don't really see any scenario in which they don't act as buyers, barring, I guess, them losing 10 in a row. But I think they're going to be in it even if they continue to hover kind of at or around 500. But how aggressive they're going to be is dictated by exactly what their record is.
An argument that I've heard about the trade deadline is, well, gosh, maybe it would make more sense for the Mariners, even if they were still fairly competitive in a weak American League, to be sellers in a seller's market where you make the most that you possibly can on Andres Munoz, where you're able to, send one of your starters that you're going to have to pay down the road. That basically, the market is kind of primed for the Mariners to sell if they wanted to. But I hated that argument upon hearing it. I knew that it was true, but I thought, God, I hate this so much. Jordan, if you were to make an argument for not selling, for not being like true sellers at the deadline, and for being a little more aggressive, what would your argument be when it comes to the Mariners?
I think it's a combination of, this is just not a franchise that they're not in a position to delay trying to win any further. It's that simple. And I think that's true just big picture, and I think it's true specifically for the front office in place. This is not a situation where we'll try again next year. No, the urgency has to remain there, partially because of how frustrating the last few years have been, partially because of what I just said, that the American League is wide open. And then the other key factor, which I've mentioned a few times on the show, is that they got a hell of a farm system to trade from. And there are going to be pieces that they have that they're going to be able to move to teams that want them, that are genuine sellers. Again, we're still waiting to see who those sellers are that are going to emerge. Sure, you could say they could take advantage, but this is not a situation like Baltimore where they are in such a big hole that they just have to decide, all right, we have to push it to next year, still have a core in place, compete in 2026. That's not the situation. The Mariners are going to be close enough in the standings that it is going to be completely ridiculous to go backwards under any circumstance. How aggressive they're going to be is going to be just how easy it is to find a trade partner, which, as we learned this past offseason, is not always that easy. I do think that because of the farm system that they have and the prospects that they've developed, they are going to have some very, very appealing chips to be able to trade come July.
So when Service got fired last year, Stacy and I felt as if it was the personnel, right? He just didn't have the guys to get her done. So now we are 100 games in, if you include last year's games with Dan Wilson, and they're at the beautiful 54% win percentage. And I find myself asking, okay, what's the difference? I think because the offensive explosion that we saw at the beginning of the season, we've seen that with a service team as well, like when August or something like that, when these teams go on the run. So what's the biggest difference you've seen between a team that's managed by service and a team that's managed by Dan Wilson?
I mean, to your point, the records might be pretty similar, and you could still say, well, the personnel is the personnel, the players are the ones that play the games. I think, and you guys have brought this up, and we've talked about it on here. Like, there are some pretty big differences in terms of how the bullpen is managed, how some of the lineups, sticking with certain lineups that feel like they don't need to be stuck with for as long as they are. I mean, there have been some pretty strong trends with the way that Dan Wilson manages things that I do feel like are departures from Scott's service. Now, you could still say, well, I don't care. Like, the result is the result. The record is the record. But how much is it contributing to them maybe not taking that next step? I think that's still up for debate. I think you can still kind of criticize the makeup of the roster. But, I mean, I'll say, I think it has felt different at times, regardless of how many wins and how many losses. Of course, they've squeaked out some big wins earlier in the season where it felt like they had kind of that late game magic there again that we saw at times with service. But in this case, yeah, I mean, I think it does feel pretty different in certain respects, but I understand that, the record is the record.
One of the things that we talked about a bit yesterday was the idea of when you do spend, how you use that money. So kind of getting back to that question, Jordan, about what other teams in the league did well, maybe a move or two around the league that you like. One thing we've said about the Mariners is, look, Mitch Garver was the first multi-year contract handed out with a free agent signing by Dipoto, first of that contract over $12 million average annual value, and it hasn't worked out. So, like, there's just as much criticism to lay down when it comes to the moves they do make. And again, I will tip of the cap to extending, Cal Raleigh before this monumental season, right? Like, there are moves they've made that are great, but are there a move or two around the league that you just really liked this offseason and you thought, look, everyone wanted to sign Juan Soto, but like, this was a smart baseball move?
Yeah, I'm glad you say that. I mean, again, if you're focused on the ones kind of at the lower levels, I think another team to mention that's very relevant here is Detroit. And you see what Gleyber Torres has been for them. Now, that kind of worked out well in terms of both player and team, kind of looking for a shorter term thing. Gleyber wanting to prove himself more in a season and kind of bounce back and get a multi-year deal next year, especially because he's a lot younger than the average free agent. But he's just been exactly what that team needs. I know that the defense continues to be not so awesome, but he's just been having a fantastic year offensively, and I think is in good position to make himself for more money next year. And that's another one where Detroit is not necessarily going out and splashing the cash around. We know they tried to sign Alex Bregman and came up short, but I think that's another one. But man, I just did free agency report cards last week. There's a lot of bad signings out there so far. If you look at the upper levels, guys that you thought like, oh man, you really wanted Christian Walker, like he's been really bad. We thought Jock Peterson, he was whatever, he was 0 for 50. Like, this is not me just rebuking free agency, because obviously when it goes well, Pete Alonso, hello, right? How many teams should be feeling stupid that they didn't just pony up for Pete Alonso? But there are a lot of high end for of course, what's happened with Corbin Burns. Some of this is bad luck. Some of this is maybe bad scouting, bad, decision making to give certain players this much money. But man, it's risky business out there. Now, again, that's not an excuse to not spend any money. And as you mentioned, you better hit on those cheaper ones if you're going to do that. And so far, Seattle has not done that. That's why, again, I keep going back to July. There have been some trades that have been a lot more promising, right? The Luis Castillo move was an indisputable win. Randy Arozarena, not that I don't like the prospects that they traded for, and Brody Hopkins and Aiden Smith, whatever. Randy's been good. Randy helped last year. Randy's been a good hitter this year, and he's still like that's a move that is still helping them. So if they can nail another one of those aggressive trades, they can be in better position. But obviously, those lower level free agent signings for the most part have been pretty disappointing.
Well, I like ending the interview on the idea that a trade could end up being more impactful than just go back in time and sign a free agent, because the trade deadline is still ahead of us. So that leaves an opportunity for change. Okay, before we let you go, Jordan, tell us what to keep an eye out for, whether it's the pod, whether it's Yahoo Sports.
Sure, yeah. So We got the Men's College World Series coming up this weekend. We previewed that on the podcast that we recorded today. Also doing a written preview that you can check out at Yahoo Sports. We, of course, care a lot about amateur baseball and college baseball. And next week, I will actually be at the MLB Draft Combine. So that's where I will be when we speak next week. So I'm just very much in draft mode. I know the MLB Draft isn't quite as mainstream as the other sports, but it's an event I care about a lot, and I'm excited to talk draft next week. Mariners picking third, so we should get into it.
Who's your favorite in the College World Series, real quick?
Arkansas. I think Arkansas finally gets it done. They have never won. Probably one of the best programs yet left in D1 that has not won at all. I think Arkansas gets it done.
I say go Beavs and go Murray State. Those are my two.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Who isn't rooting for Murray State? I just think Arkansas is the best team there.
Right.
He's Yahoo Sports, Jordan Shusterman. Read his work at yahoosports.com. Of course, go listen to Baseball Barbiecast, rate, review, subscribe. Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's something completely overblown at OTAs?
Interceptions. I'm sitting there on the sideline yesterday watching Sam Darnold go to work. He throws an interception. And what do people on the sideline do?
That's exactly what we sound like.
I don't know. I mean, what you see right there. And everyone has their analysis, and I respect anyone who's out there because they're working and, they know what they're talking about. But it's overblown because that one interception looked like it was a false start. The flag was thrown. He knew he had a free play. He's going to toss it up. But I didn't hear one person say, oh, that was a free play. I think they just see the interception. And it's hard because you don't know what people are looking at when you're out there. You can't see everything at one time. Like some plays, I'll just look at Kobe Bryant. Another play, I'll just look at the offensive line. Another play, I'll look at the combination of receivers on the right side of the field. It's impossible to see everything at one time. So when an interception is thrown, all people see is the end result. I don't think they realize that could have been a free play. He's tossing it up, or he's told just to throw the football so the defense gets a look. Kobe Bryant was over the top. Boom, he gets an interception, and it can be deceiving at times. So sometimes interceptions are overblown, man. But I get why you recognize it because it is a turnover, and you have a new quarterback here. You're wondering, are you going to have some of the same issues that you had with Geno last year? I get it, man. It's just sometimes it's just a little too much.
Second down. What did you like most from yesterday's practice?
I liked the shell of the defense on the back end. The DBs always felt like they were in position to make a play on the football. And a lot of the times, we've said this before, OTAs can fool you as far as offensive execution because the DBs can't make a play on the ball. Now, if they're wide open like the Kobe interception yesterday and he's not going to hurt anybody, he can go up and grab the football and you'll be fine. But it always seemed like they were in the right place. I think we heard a clip from Julian saying, it's about the fits. And that's all defense is. It's the fits. Every gap is accounted for. The flat is accounted for. The hook, the curl, the back end. And on the back end, because that was the time where I was just looking at the secondary, everybody was on top of the routes. They were rallying to the football. They were communicating. They seemed like they were just where they need to be. Now, when the pads come on, can you be where you need to be and finish the play? Can you make the tackle? Can you break the pass up? Can you cause a fumble? There are other things that come into factor when you have the pads on. But to be where they are now with just pajamas on out there, it's all about being in the right place. And yesterday, that secondary seemed like they were where they were supposed to be. I didn't see any blown coverages. When there's a blown coverage, when the safeties are going crazy on the DBs. Like, what the heck? Boom, boom, boom. I saw none of that. And I don't think that's J-Love's style anyway. He's kind of like pull you to the side and get on you that way. But it seemed like everybody's where they need to be. I love to see it.
Third down. What's so silly, but a guaranteed way to predict if the Seahawks will be successful?
It's all about jerseys.
What?
It's all about the jerseys, and this is what I'm going to say, okay? Here's the top maybe 8 jerseys that are being bought in the NFL right now.
Okay.
You have Saquon Barkley number 1, Pat Mahomes at number 2, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, Josh Allen, Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Michael Parsons, Justin Jefferson. Minus Michael Parsons, all these teams are playoff teams. So you need a superstar on your team. You need a guy that the kids, the dads, and the moms are going out and saying, I need that jersey. There's no one on this team right now to where people are going out by the masses because it's not just regional. Like, people in Detroit aren't just buying Amon-Ra St. Brown jerseys.
No, you need bandwagon.
Yeah,
fans.
people in Philly aren't just buying Jalen Hurts jerseys. They're so good, their team is that good, that you got people across the country buying them. That's what this team is missing right now. And I'm looking at the guys on this roster, and I'm trying to figure out who can be that guy. If Sam Darnold goes nuts this year, maybe he's that guy. If Jason goes nuts this year, he can be that guy. If one of our if Nicky Mawari goes nuts this year, he can be that guy. He has that kind of star power. So of course it comes to X's and O's and execution and coaching and all that good stuff. But end of the day, it comes down to personnel. If you don't have somebody that people are going out in Texas to buy Seahawks jersey.
Yeah.
It means you don't have that star power yet, but you can also have success without it because it can be just a team effort. But there's a common trend, even on the top 20. I mean, there's nobody other than Caleb Williams, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons that are on this list. Everyone else, playoff team, get a good jersey sales.
I've always thought about that. I know that in theory, bandwagon fans or the idea of bandwagoning can be really annoying. If your team has a bunch of bandwagon fans, that's good news. You might not like those fans, or you might, kind of roll your eyes or think like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. But like, that is usually the sign of a really good team.
Yep.
If I can buy your logo at a Forever 21, you got a pretty good team. If you got a good team, fourth down. R.I.P. Forever 21.
R.I.P.
Not too soon. What do you want to see today at practice?
I want to see the center spot. We've seen Oluwatimi, we've seen Sandell, we've seen Christian Haynes get reps there too. Brady Henderson talked about it on the morning show on Brock and Salk this morning. And we assume Oluwatimi is going to be the guy, but who's going to back him up after that? I also love seeing that Christian Haynes is getting spots at a few places, at the center spot and at the guard spot. The more you can do, you'll be available, you'll be on the sideline, you'll be active for that week of play. So that's the position battle I'm looking at now. I think Olu has the upper hand in this whole situation, but it's nice when you can apply some pressure. So Christian Haynes, keep doing your thing. Sandell, keep doing your thing. I think Oluwatimi has that spot, but I'm looking at the center spot and the other guard spot just to see what that rotation continues to look like.
Bump and I are going to head out to the field to watch a little bit of practice. We are going to send you to the Mariners pregame show coming up in just a couple minutes here. Obviously, first pitch in this series finale is coming up at 12:40 p.m. Your lineup today: Crawford, Rodriguez, Raleigh, Arozarena, Polanco, fifth. Garver, your catcher today. Raleigh gets a day off. Solano, Moore, Williamson, Wu, your starting pitcher. That is your lineup in our final 30-ish seconds. You already know what we're going to do, guys. We're picking our home run pick. Bump.
I'm going
This was your lineup.
I'm going with Polanco, man.
Oh, that's love.
Come on,
that's beautiful.
Polanco.
I love
Polanco.
that. I love that. That's optimistic. Curtis, your choice.
Against a lefty?
Against a lefty.
I think Dylan Moore breaks out of it today. I think he goes here.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, another cute one.
Another. you guys are haters. No, I'm a hater. I started that. You know what? Let's go Williamson. We're all going to go with just vibes.
Cute.
It's vibes picks today. It's vibes picks. Okay, Mariners looking to avoid a sweep against the Diamondbacks. Series finale coming your way in an hour. Pre-game show starts right now.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
In Cal, you're seeing a superstar start to develop. He's starting to get that national recognition. It's always been, when you talk about the Mariners, you'd sort of talk about the rotation as a whole. Sure. Talking about an individual, it's been Julio. And it feels like Cal is starting to move into that spot. Now, here's the thing. Neither, by baseball standards, are being paid as a superstar.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours. The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. Zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. The Seattle Mariners pregame show is on.
Back she goes, going and going. Goodbye, baseball. He did it. Julio Rodriguez.
Mariners pregame is brought to you by the new Chevy Trax, Beacon Plumbing, and Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Seattle Mariners pregame. The countdown to first pitch is underway.
Well, good almost afternoon, and welcome to Chase Field here in Phoenix. Shannon Dreyer coming to you from the Western Washington Toyota broadcast booth, where we are counting you down today to a 12:40 first pitch. Mariners looking to avoid falling below 500. Yes, that hurts, but the right guy on the hill to help achieve that. Brian Wu taking the hill today for the Mariners as they look to get back on track. He certainly has the ability to give them a good shot at that and give them hold things down until they can get some runs scored. I think early runs would be a good thing today, however, and they could perhaps get them off of Eduardo Rodriguez, lefty on the hill for the D-backs, 1-3 with a 6.70 ERA. So hopefully some opportunities there. With lefty on the hill, we of course have a little bit of a different lineup, your righty lineup with some twists. Let's go ahead and get to it right now. At the top is the lefty, J.P. Crawford. At shortstop, that's fine. He plays against both as he should. He is followed by Julio Rodriguez in center field. Cal Raleigh is batting third, but he is getting a DH day with the day game after the night game. Randy Arozarena batting cleanup in left field. Jorge Polanco in the lineup, and you're like, wait, there's a DH. Well, yes, Jorge Polanco will be at second base today. Mitch Garver behind the plate, another right-handed bat that you can get into the order there. Donovan Solano at first base, Dylan Moore in right field, and rounding out the 9 at third base is Ben Williamson, who has been doing some nice things at the plate of late. He has made some adjustments, which is huge. For a rookie, it's all about the adjustments, and he seems to have figured some things out and how he's being attacked and what he can do to kind of get back into his game. So looking for some good things from Ben Williamson, both in the field and at the plate. Let's go ahead and get to the health report, which is brought to you by Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. We've seen some familiar faces while we've been down here the past few days. The Mariners organizational facilities, of course, are down the road in Peoria. Victor Robles and Ryan Bliss have been rehabbing there, and they have come up for the last couple of days to spend time with the team. They've had lockers in the clubhouse. They put on their Mariners uniforms. Really good to kind of catch up with them. They're at different places in their comeback. We do not anticipate seeing Ryan Bliss after the bicep surgery this season. And when we talked with Victor Robles, it sounds like he might be a little bit further off than we anticipated. He is doing range of motion exercises with his shoulder, but not a lot of weight-bearing things. He just got out of the sling 2 weeks ago. So we're going to have to wait and see on him. We, of course, will get a full roundup of the injury situations in Game 1 of the homestand coming up on Friday. Justin Hollander always gives us a really thorough rundown on where everybody is, so we should hear about that. And I would anticipate hearing about Logan Gilbert, too, who had a very strong outing last night for Tacoma. So that is your health report. A little TBD on that one, but we should get some news on Friday. Health report is powered by Virginia Mason Franciscan Health, the sports medicine provider of the Seattle Mariners. We've got a great show planned for you as we get you ready for Game 3 of the 3-game series. Coming up on the roundtable, really interesting article in The Athletic this week. They did a poll of players, an anonymous poll of players. We're going to play a little game, kind of try and guess what the players were thinking, as well as what does it mean on some of these? So that'll be an interesting one coming up in about 15 minutes. On the Mariners Clubhouse Insider, we're going to hear from half of the Cespedes family barbecue. Jake Mintz was on the dugout this week. Some interesting thoughts on the trade deadline and this Mariners team. And then on the Coach's Corner, which comes up next, we're going to have some Cal Raleigh talk with Jerry DiPoto. We are just getting started here as we are working towards that 12:40 first pitch. Stick around. You are listening to us on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
$195 million. Global Credit Union members saved $195 million last year through lower fees and better interest rates. At Global, member service is our highest priority. 27 branches throughout Washington, an easy-to-use mobile app, and access to a member service rep wherever you are and whenever you need help. 24/7, 365 days a year. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, proud partners of Seattle Mariners Radio.
Baseball fans, it's time to step up to the plate and swing for a grand slam at the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot Casino Resort is always a home run. With the best games, the best restaurants, the best pool and spa, and the best rooms and luxury suites. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Cheering in the stands works up quite the appetite. So when you spend $50 on quality gas at Arco, bring your receipt to T-Mobile Park Guest Services, and you'll get a $10 concessions gift card. Get pumped, eat well, and never go home hungry. Now that's something to cheer about. Take the win with quality top-tier gas for less at Arco. Savings based on independent retail price survey. Promotion valid through July 31st, 2025, while supplies last.
The Mariners are giving you more baseball for your buck. With Mariners Value Games, score seats for as little as $11 on select dates all season long. Plus, check out the expanded Mariners Value menu and beers available every game. Enjoy ballpark classics like hot dogs and nachos for less than $5 and a great selection of brews starting at just $5. Go to mariners.com/value to grab your tickets and check out the full slate of value options at T-Mobile Park.
The countdown to first pitch is underway, and it's time for the Coach's Corner.
Welcome back. It's time for Coach's Corner. Recently, we had a chance to catch up with Jerry DiPoto, asking him all things Cal Raleigh.
I mean, when we last talked, I think we waxed pretty significantly on Cal Raleigh, and maybe not on the pod, but Gary and I know on the air and off the air as well, both said numerous times something along the lines of, well, May will be different, but he'll still probably be very productive. May wasn't really that different at all. I mean, he's put together two just monster months. What have been your biggest impressions watching the first, whatever it is, 2+ months of Cal Raleigh now?
You know, I guess to take it to a broader level than just what he's doing on the field, because what he's doing on the field is he's performing like the best corner outfielders in the big leagues. And he's a platinum glove catcher. You know, think about that. And that's such a rare thing, you know. And it's not just the homers. His walk rate went up. He's hitting for a higher average. His the big moments are such a comfortable place for Cal. He doesn't panic. You know, he's just letting it happen. I think his chase rate is way down, and it's you're seeing an awesome player at the height of what he's done to this point in his career, and I think he's just showing you what he's capable of. And you know, all players peak at different times. So many of them are having their salad days in their late 20s, and that's where Cal's at. You know, he's a veteran player now. He's been through the league. He is as attentive to understanding the league at large, studying, you know, opposing pitchers. He knows what everybody's going to do to him. But the bigger thing for me is, and you can see it, you know, on the TV ads or when he's you know, the social media posts. Cal's just more comfortable, and he's more comfortable as a big leaguer. He's more comfortable as a leader. He's more comfortable, and he's just. And I don't want to say that in a negative way. It's in a good way. His confidence. He had confidence the day we drafted him, but it just screams through right now. And when the best players get in the big moments, that's what takes them over the top, is that comfort. I've been here before. and he knows what is required, and then he knows how to react when he inevitably does the thing.
I'm glad you mentioned the other aspects to his offensive game, because I feel like homering every day has kind of overshadowed the other steps he has made as a hitter.
The homers are cool, I have to say.
Don't get me wrong. I love them, and they're great. But his walk rate, his on-base percentage, as you point out, like, this is the best complete version of Cal Raleigh that we've seen as a hitter, right?
This is going to sound absurd to say. The first 2 months of the season, for 4 years in Anaheim, we had Mike Trout. And, Mike Trout would have a WRC plus hovering somewhere around 200 fairly regularly. That's what our catcher is doing right now with elite defense and leadership skills. It's pretty remarkable. And, I don't know if June or July or August will be different. I suspect they won't, from his self-confidence perspective, because this is just an ongoing evolution for Cal as a player. He's been really good for a number of years now, and we're just seeing really good turn into this is what it looks like when he's at his best. And it's hard to imagine something better than what we're seeing right now.
I want to kind of go deeper on something you've referenced twice, and that is he's a catcher hitting like an outfielder, right? I mean, you're saying that, in my mind, twofold. One, because offense for catchers is, it's still basically, without looking at it, it's the lowest of any position in baseball. Is that fair? In terms of in
any year of any era in history.
Like the slash for the league average catcher is lower than the slash for any other position.
Yes.
So that's one reason. And then the other is just the sheer physical beating that comes along with that position.
And if you think about this, and I had a conversation about it yesterday, he's playing every day. And and when I say every day, I mean every single day. Cal, he doesn't want the time down. He's always wanted to play regularly. And he's durable as all get out, and that's just been part of that's part of the package that he brings. And if you go back and look at the great catchers I know when I was growing up, the great catchers, the Johnny Bench, the Thurman Munsons, even maybe a little bit before I was old enough to know anything but their baseball card, like the Bill Freehands. These guys played every day, and Cal's out there every day, and we're a better team when he's in the lineup. So as long as he can sustain that, we're just better off having him in there.
And that was the Coach's Corner right there with Jerry Dipoto. I like a lot of the things that he has said about Cal. They certainly have a handle on who he is, and I do think a lot of it is the competence. A lot of the things that he is saying now are things that he said before, but he would say with hesitation. And he understands his place on this team and the game, and what he can do, and the effect and the impact that he can have on and off the field. And it has just been so nice to watch his development from the day he got in this organization. Of course, he came here a very, I'm not going to say a finished product, but as far as the leadership skills and things like that, they were there. And we're going to hear a little bit more about that coming up on the Cal Raleigh Show tomorrow. I did a Father's Day edition because Cal, any interview you have with him, you hear about his dad. And my dad told me this, and my dad instilled this in me. And so we're just going to get into that a little bit more. And so it's an interesting conversation, and kind of a neat one, and I think a lot